Welcome back to the Daily Taoist with Will S. We are talking about the Tao Te Ching and how to get back into spirit and alignment with the way, especially now during these turbulent COVID-19 times. It's important to get back into alignment with your true self and your true nature and understand that you have a nature and that you can trust in it, and you don't have to give in to fear and doubt and a bunch of human constructed baloney. Today I'm going to be talking about verse 30, which is very pertinent, and it's something that I have to remember, and I think we should all take stock of when we're interacting in the world. Some people might call it the platinum rule, but I just call it verse 30. The Tao Te Ching was written around 2,500 years ago by a man named Lao-Tzu. It is one of the oldest texts in existence and certainly one of the wisest. Its wisdom is as timeless now as it was back then, if not more so. It is vital that we learn to come back into alignment with the natural world to live in a more harmonious and selfless way, and the Tao Te Ching beautifully instructs us in bringing ourselves in our alignment with the Tao. Verse 30. Those who lead people by following the Tao do not try to force issues or use weapons to enforce their will. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. Whatever strains with force will soon decay. It is not attuned to the way. Not being attuned to the way, its end comes all too soon. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of his control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he does not try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. This part of the Tao Te Ching offers advice to leaders and heads of state. All through the wisdom applies to anyone in any position of authority, including leaders of organizations, businesses, social groups, and even parents. One of the key messages is to relinquish the need to control and dominate other people and events. Why do we spend so much of our time and energy trying to control that which is beyond our control? No matter how much we stress and fret and struggle, the world remains as it is. Night follows the day, and the seasons pass in cyclical succession. No matter how much we try to dominate and control, others will always remain as they are until such time as they change of their own accord. One who lives in alignment with the Tao has no need to control life or to convince others of his worth and seek their approval. What lies outside of us is ultimately beyond our control. Even if others give us the compliance, approval, or validation we seek, they can just as easily take it away again. But when we see our fulfillment from within, from knowing and embodying the Tao without us, we have the true power, and no one can ever take that away from us. Why so much fuss and focus on dominating the outer world when it's really the inner world that needs our attention? Compliments to the essay go to Rory at thedailytaoblogspot.com. Thank you, Rory, for reminding me that I have no business telling other people what to do and no business telling other people what to think. I am just the messenger. If people want to take the vaccination, if people want to succumb to tyranny and give up their rights and freedoms, there's nothing within my power to stop them from doing that. It's been very clear to me in the last year that we have entered into a period of ideological warfare, for lack of a better word, World War III. And it's not going to be a physical war. It is going to be a war of hearts and minds. And it's going to come down to what is right, what is wrong. And are you going to surround yourself with people and communities that go back to an older style, a more harmonious and Tao-centered way of living your life in tune with nature? Or are you going to be part of the matrix constructed global world and potentially never recover? Remember that we were all born free on this planet or this universe or this dome or whatever the hell we live on or in. I really don't know. I've never been to outer space. I'm not even sure what is up there. But for humanity to survive the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to have to come together as all trues or altruistics and find some common ground between all of us, both the vaxxed and the non-vaxxed, and the political leanings, whether you're right, left, or in between. All of that doesn't matter as a Taoist, right? These are just constructions of the mind. And we need to let go of the judgments, and we need to stop trying to control other people, and just remember that you need to come back to your internal world, right? And stop focusing on what you can't control in others, and that your inner world ultimately determines what's going to happen to you long term. And we also need to stop thinking in terms of me, or I, and start thinking of we the people, collectively, us, without coming to situations with a sense of self-interest and self-serving, and just completely be in the Tao and live a virtuous life. And it may not even be about us anymore. It may be about saving the kids, right? If you have kids or are planning to have kids, sending them to a regular public school is just going to set them up to be indoctrinated by the system. And we will be living in a version where kids will be reporting on their parents, and that if you have a dissenting thought or idea or vision, you will be purged from the record. For lack of a better word, you will be vaporized. The term they use in 1984 is vaporized. You just will not exist anymore. And you think that that can't happen. But history has proven that we operate in about 80-year cycles, okay? And the last time this happened was in 1939 in Germany. And people willingly went along with the totalitarian government in order to thinking that they were going to keep their security and keep their rights. But what ended up happening is that power was just consolidated, and because you let one thing happen, it was so much easier to get to the point where loading people into train cars and sending them to forced concentration camps just became a normal thing. All right? Like this is history, guys. So pay attention, right? Pay attention to the elders. Pay attention to veterans. We're coming to a point where World War II veterans, both my grandparents fought in World War II, both my grandfathers, they're not here, they're not around anymore to tell those stories anymore. So I need to be a voice to that, because it's my obligation, right? It's my obligation to be a force for positive change and positive light in the world. And those of you either in my inner circles or outer circles that are listening to this, you can either take this with a grain of salt or not. I really don't care anymore. I love each and every one of you, and I want everyone to be safe and taken care of. But as this situation plays out across the globe and on an individual, spiritual, and ideological level, remember the stance that you took. Remember how you treated other people, especially ones that were trying to give helpful advice without trying to force it down your throat. And realize that you cannot save everyone. You know, whether that is your close friend, confidant, family member, and your inner world and your inner mind is yours alone. No one can penetrate that. If you have a core belief and you're unwilling to bend or break or change that belief, then that's up to you. I can't stop that, right? Whether you're for vaccinations, against vaccinations, I can't change your mind. So just remember that the Tao is always in play. Trust in the Tao. Don't go into fear. Love one another. Especially love yourself. And do not try to dominate events. Things are going to play out as the Spirit, God, Creator, Architect has designed all of this. And we are just along for the ride. If you'd like to learn more about spirituality, the Tao Te Ching, Jesus, the New Testament, Beatitudes, please check out www.thedailytaoist.com and check us out on all of our platforms. The Daily Taoist on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I am going to keep running this as long as I have breath to breathe. I have also created a Discord group and a Telegram group, which I'm going to link in the descriptions of all of my episodes. It's a public group. It's free to join. I only ask that you come with a sense of humility and don't try to dominate other people, because that's not in the way of things. It's not with the Tao. All right. I love each and every one of you on this planet, universe, Mandelbrot, or otherwise. Namaste, Will S.